Hey guys, John and Guy from Surf Effects. We're going to have a little look and a little question.
The bin man's here.
Cheers. Good tea.
Hey guys, John and Guy from Surf Effects, and tonight we're answering your questions. Your questions about wingding.
Go ahead.
We've got a question. John from Sydney asks, do I need a huge, say, 2400 size front wing to learn on?
That's a hard no.
Definite no, John. We feel that wingspan these days, if you look at it on some of these wings, this is a 101, amazing for light wind, for me and getting guys going. 1430.
This is the wing I use. Yeah, 92
kilo.
kilos, 15 knots, 6 meter unit like we have behind. That's my, what I learned on, still using now, and it's what area? This is 1,430 square centimeters.
We said that.
Yeah, well, I said it again to emphasize the point.
And something like this at 910 in the axis range, pump and glide, it's 1267. And the better you get, this thing will get going.
Or perfect for if you're 70 kilos.
That's right, yeah.
Now, think of it like this. These wings work the same as airplane wings. A glider doesn't even have a motor and flies because it's got a super long, thin wingspan. It's an efficient lift, and that's what you want to get going.
And then I guess the big factor why you don't need the massive wing anymore is most guys don't want to buy another wing like this straight away, so they get a bigger wing above the water. And we're finding the wing above the water combined with something like that, we're learning on 6s and 7s, gets you going.
Good times.
Who else?
Thank you, John.
Okay, Lance from Brisbane asks, what wind strength do I need to learn how to wingding?
Great question, Lance. John?
Look, like most wind sports and most sports, it's more fun a bit overpowered. Because if you're underpowered, you're not going to go even if you're really good. So having a little bit too much wind kind of flings you around a bit, but at least you get to go.
You have no choice. Yeah, and we're finding you're 15 to 18 perfect, 14 to 18, and then the better you get at that technique of pumping up, you can go in 8 to 10 with the right gear.
That's it. As you get more efficient, you get your top end increases as well as your bottom end increases because you're more efficient and you can hold down wings and more wind and work on how to pump them up.
Yeah, so just quickly, you use the bump on the water in really, really light wind. You have to go off the wind and use the bump to generate that power. Like windsurfers have learnt their whole life, and us kiters don't really need to know that. So.
Okay, next question. Are all wings equal?
Ooh.
Or are some better than others? I'm talking about wingdings. And if so, in what way?
I think it's coming down to design and kind of the background of the company and their experience with wind sports and that.
100%.
Really find that brands that have a windsurfing, kiteboarding background obviously understand to work with the materials, and then like the new versions of wings. There's second, third kites that brands have produced. They've learned a lot. Yeah.
100%. This is like second generation. There was a foil wing, the Echo, the unit came out, and now there's a slick wing, which has been tried and tested, and they're by far, way ahead, I feel. And
if you Google it, you will actually see a guy wingfoiling holding a beach umbrella, and that was a real picture that he did. So you can go with that. It's not going to be as good as if you get a company that has heritage in wind sports and their 4th, 5th generation of this kind of product. So
great point.
there you go.
Okay, Dennis from Dubbo, he asks, what size board do I need to learn on?
Oh, John, what do you got?
Aim for 30 to 40 liters above your weight in kilograms.
If you're above average, you could argue 20 to 30 liters if you find yourself not wanting to drop down too quick.
Yeah, if the guys who pick it up fastest obviously have some foil experience on wake foiling or kite foiling, but windsurfers, it's very similar to windsurfing. So if you are a very experienced windsurfer, I don't mean you did it 30 years ago, I mean you regularly windsurf in decent conditions, you'll probably be able to get away definitely on the lower end of that scale.
Definitely, yeah, and you can definitely keep that board if you do go into the ocean as well. So don't look at it as a big board you're never going to use. If you get a bigger board and sell it, guess what? When you go to the ocean and you try downwind or surf, you'll need it again for your first few goes, because guys sell them, think they're doing really well on the flat water, and then in the ocean it's a lot more.
When you get the motion in the ocean, it gets tippy.
Definitely, but if you want to skip the big board, you can. You might lose skin off your toes and your knees. You need to learn to start on your knees. So that's another question, I'm sure, later, hopefully.
Okay, Shaniqua from Parramatta asks,
It's good to see more ladies getting into the sport.
Right.
is a shorter board better than a longer board?
Yes, as you are better. And you usually progress pretty quick with this.
Definitely.
So starting off, I used my SUP, which is a 6.7, and it was great the first couple days because as you're going, you're constantly breaching and slamming down. The shorter board, you go straight over the front, but the bigger board, you can kind of save it a bit more. After a week, it was like, okay, go short. Keep the volume, but go short.
Yeah, the longer board will glide up nicer. It's less aggressive on the lift sometimes. If you look at a longer board, it's quite mellow when you get it up, and it's less responsive.
Yeah. When you go shorter, everything is, even going a shorter board, same volume as what a longer board is, that shorter one, you can feel that it's just, your stance just feels a bit more in the right spot all the time, and definitely more maneuverable. You can move it around a little bit better. Yeah,
and the short boards, you just got to know when you get good at getting up onto your feet. Once you're holding onto this wing, don't worry about the length of the board. Once you're standing, I find that's half the work done, and then you can really pump off the water quicker with a shorter board, I'm finding. Volume might be a good one, Shaniqua. You probably need to look at the volume when you're learning. It's easier on a 20-30 litre volume board bigger, but when you're competent, you can use your body weight. You just need a bit of patience. If you're
ladies in kiting as well, is just, you're going to pick it up better because you're going to use your technique and think about it, where the guys are going to try to muscle it and probably get frustrated. So you'll be getting it pretty quickly.
Okay. Scotty from marketing asks, how can I go faster on my board?
Ooh,
we can go fast.
You didn't tell us about this question earlier.
It's drag.
Drag, mast size, wings are massive. I should run away and grab some high aspect wings. We basically swing down there. You go. Cord length, cord width, and aspect ratio. Like longer mast is the main one. Like guys are finding they can really lean the board over, and the longer the mast, the less wings going to pop out, and you can push harder upwind, which can power up your wingding. So mast length, high aspect ratio, wings. And I want to say something on this one. Massive Mark from marketing. Scotty, whoops. Sorry, Scotty. Once you got over 15 knots and you're pretty competent, it's amazing what these wings can do in anything over 14, or I'm using it in everything now.
What size is that?
This is the 880, 11-12 area.
You can see how thin the foil is too.
And that's the drag. So this wing here is thinner through this section, through the cord, than say like the bigger ones that I use. They just don't have the drag.
Yeah, so the board speed before you lift is higher, and you'll find it'll come up out of the water projecting forward rather than a thick wing that wants to come up at slower speed. So does require a bit more technique to get them moving and to get it up, but then again, the better you get, the easier these become, and the less and less I'm riding my bigger wings ever.
Other thing on the speed is you want to go fast, you need some grunt in your wing, and again, that's going to be coming down to the efficiency of the wing and really kind of the wing design. So the newest designs are going to be much more efficient than the, you know, the first generation stuff, or a lot of, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying eBay stuff, but eBay stuff.
Okay, Trent from Punchbowl. Mast length. What's the go? What's the easiest to learn on? Why do I go along the mast?
Trent, a lot of good questions.
Mast length, most of us run around 80. So you got 80 centimeter mast. You can go, guys are starting to run a bit longer. Some of the guys want to learn on something shorter. And I think that's really coming from the fact that they don't want to fall from as high up. But what that does is that it means you got less room before you breach on the wings, and you got less room before you touch down on the board. So you just kind of got to
beginner, short.
Yeah, but you still got to cop a few.
Well, you learnt 75, you skipped
75.
the little one. Some guys like to go to 68, which you can with certain brands, but the 72 to 75 is a really comfortable size for me.
I think if you go that too small, it's just, you're always either breaching or touching, and there's never a sweet spot.
Yeah,
you
you're real scared, it suits that guy. Yeah, but I guess your 86 is real popular, 82, 86, and then the guy that wants full speed can go 90 to 100. The sky's the limit. If you're racing flat water, then yeah, the longer, the faster. But if you're open ocean, for me, towing and surfing and everything, as soon as I went too big,
bombing swaves.
Bombing swell for me, I actually, if you're not trying to go as fast as you can, I would say the 82 is perfect for me. I've been using a 72 and a 75, and because I'm just so synced in with it, I like to just stick with what I'm used to, and I feel connected, and you can keep your wing under the water when you're synced in with your mast. So maybe I need to get better at riding an 82. I was going to talk about wingdings. I guess we didn't say enough about the brand when you look at what goes into it, the paneling,
There's a lot of wings on the market, and there's
lot
a
of wings on
million,
the market.
and some are so crap, and some
Dude,
are really good.
You don't see the emails I delete
Oh,
of people like, sell my brand, and you're like, what is this crap?
yeah, so you got to watch what you buy, and then the big factor is look at who services that wing for the next 5 years. Can you get parts, bladders? We're finding even bladders with all these big brands sometimes. If you rip your wing in the surf,
Yeah, COVID.
you know, every shop that's got to stock every bladder and strut and batten and everything, it's a lot of stuff, and we're definitely trying to service the dinghy market by keeping stock of parts. Yeah, but kite brands make the best wings, and windsurf brands, yeah.
If they have any questions, shoot us an email.
If you guys have any questions at all, look, send us an email. You can see it on our website's contact@surfeffects.com.au. Send me spam, whatever you want. That's fine. I'll read it all.
Make up a cool name, mate.
And you can also drop a comment below in the video, because, you know, and look, like the video, subscribe, whatever. Don't worry about that, but definitely like it, because it means that you searched this, you liked it, and it's going to help someone else if you hit the like button.
Adios.
Adios.